Well, looky here, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing to have every time for the last few years to have people like Tommy Lepson, Pete Ragusa, Dave Elliott talking about the Danny Gatton celebration coming up at the Birchmere. Guys, welcome to Living on Music.
Hey,
Hey,
It's so great to see you. And the last time we did it, people watched it for a lot of folks watched it. And I think people will gear up again because you know what? The love of this guy just doesn't seem to go anywhere. And we'll talk a little bit about your own personal involvements and things like that. But again, everybody, just so you know from the top here, it's Friday, August 29th. Which, by the way, guys, has no relevation to this event, but it would have been my parents' 67th anniversary.
wow, wow.
Yeah, well, I lost them 20 years ago, but the August 29th. But it's 7:30 p.m. at the Birchmere. Tickets available, I gather, as we're going along, but it usually just sells out and goes crazy. But very excited to have you guys on. What is the feeling? Well, I'll start with you, Pete, and we'll go across there just to talk briefly about it. What is the feeling to play Danny Gatton in this year? He'll be eight. He would have been 80 years old on September 4th this year, and is sorely missed forever. What's it like playing his music for you at this point in your life?
uh, well, it just proves what kind of an impact his music had on people. Uh, to be invited to play this is a real honor. Uh, Playing with Dave Chappell and Tommy, we do a number of Danny's songs, so
Right, right.
called for a lot of homework on my part. Uh, and it's it's fun music.
Oh yeah, I bet. Dave Elliott, what is your feeling about the Danny Gatton and 2025 for your brain?
I'm so happy that people are still keeping his music going and his name out there. And there's so many great players on this show that if you didn't know Danny's music, you got to come because every musician on that stage is top drawer, number one.
I know a lot to Danny.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one, Dave, because it is amazing. Not only you two, three amazing with Dave Chappell, my buddy, John Previty, I believe, is involved, and then you got Bill Kirchen, who I don't remember being there last year, but has he ever done it before?
No,
No.
Well, there you go. I remember.
Red Volker has done it the last few years.
Yeah.
But he couldn't make it this year, so they invited Bill.
Nice fill, and Bill's still doing well. I remember years ago doing a preview show for a PBS kids thing with Bill, and I was in TV for 40 years in DC, and it was an amazing experience. He was something else. Well, he's in there. Johnny Castle, Brent Gatton. You've got Bruce Swaim, Rick Whitehead, Rachel Hall, who we just talked about that I sang with, and I was going to tell you that one before the show, but she not only did 10th Avenue Freeze Out, but she sang alongside me for Two Hearts, and I was like, Jesus, these people around me. It was amazing. Rachel's playing at this show though, and is she going to primarily play guitar or is she singing?
She's spotlighted with a couple numbers,
Yeah.
and she does background also.
right.
Yeah, she's something special too. Anthony Parag, Joe Mayer, Steve Windsor, Daryl Davis, who again was a guest of mine on Living on Music, talking about his unbelievable life and what he's also focuses on outside of music. And amazing guy, Chris Watling, Chris Battistone. So yeah, Dave, that you are so right. The crew that's going to be at that show is incredible. Tommy, talk a little bit about your feelings in your head right now for Mr. Gatton.
Well, I'm just so happy I get a chance to do these things. One of my last meetings with Danny was we were getting ready to put a CD together,
That's
and we
right.
had like 24 songs picked out. So we're going to record them all and take the best 12, and that was going to be on the recording. So I just remember that was kind of a cool meeting we had. He was sitting in his garage with the cars talking, and you know, and then he took us for a ride, me and John, in his, I think it was a 34. Was it 34? that he got?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And I said, what'd you pay for this? He said, I've traded my guitar for this, my telly for this. And I said, what did you do that for? And he looked at me really funny and he said, you know, you can always get another guitar, but you can't, they don't make these anymore. And I said, you're so right about that.
oh, that's sensational.
Yeah, beautiful.
That is another part of the three of you and others that are playing in this incredible celebration gig on the 29th. Also, Dave Elliott, talk a little bit about your experience with Danny. We talked about it before with Danny and the Fat Boys and things like that. What was that like?
Incredible. Um, I met them by accident.
Oh,
And they were looking for a drummer. They'd been auditioning drummers. I was in the house band at Hillbilly Heaven. And the guy
wow.
that did our band wrecked his car, was in the hospital. And Earl Dixon, the owner, called Billy because they knew each other from music and buying and selling cars, and told Billy to put a band together while Larry was in the hospital.
Oh,
And I just happened to be down there packing my drums up and not knowing who the band was going to be while we were off. And Billy and Danny walked in, and Billy recognized my fat self. I ran into him in Georgetown one night years before, and he was so good I had to walk up to him and tell him how great he sang. He was playing bass with a band called Love and Trust, which was part of the Fallen Angels and part of the Mad Hatters
oh,
from back in the day. And I only got to hear him for like 15 minutes. It was last call, but I introduced myself and blah, blah, blah. And a few years later, they popped into Hillbilly Heaven. And Billy remembered me because I was so big. And he said, well, why don't we get this fat guy to play with us while we're here? Because we're auditioning drummers. So I played with him for a week, and we left there. And I went on to play with him for off and on for 18 years.
oh, that's spectacular. And that is, you know, again, some of that incredible experience. You also said, I think one time when we previously talked a little bit about how he had, you know, had a depression that went, you know, from that you know they met that went up with for a while, and that affected him obviously till the end.
Yeah, yeah, he hated doctors, so he didn't do anything about his depression, and that's what finally got him. I mean, people say he had a stroke and stuff, and that he was having trouble with his right side because of that, but it could have been a pinched nerve
Right.
because he'd just gotten a double neck guitar from Fender, and he was playing that, and that's heavy on your shoulder. And it could be, you know, who knows?
Sure.
I was with him a couple nights before down in the garage,
Yeah.
drinking beer and playing with cars, and he was fine. It was a total shock when it happened. And people say it was because he had the stroke and this, but I'm sure it was depression, clinical depression, because I knew him for over 20 years,
Yeah.
and I'd seen him go through ups and downs. But
Sure.
him and I always had a ball. That's probably why he kept me around, because we had so much fun with him.
Right. That's the, you know, that's the scenario for a lot of people. That you don't expect it. And when they leave us, Pete Ragusa, you played with him and Pete Kennedy for a while. That had to be wonderful.
Yeah, in fact, there's a CD that's recently come out. It was, I think, in 1982, maybe. Live at the Birchmere with me and Pete Kennedy, Danny, and John Previty. I don't know why I was on the gig, but I was hanging on for dear life.
Right.
And Billy Wolf had recorded that. He did a board mix. And somehow or another, it made its way to somebody who wanted to. It's basically a bootleg,
Right.
you know. And there's another one out. I'm
Wow.
not, that's out right now. A lot of
Really?
Holiday Inn.
Yeah, one of those Sunday jazz gigs at the Holiday Inn. I can't wait to hear it because
Oh,
I
that's
used to
amazing.
go
And
to-
yeah, those are going to get attention too because
oh my
his
God.
reputation is not gone by any stretch of the imagination.
But when I was in the Nighthawks, might have been a period where I guess the Fat Boys broke up.
Yeah, several of those.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was, but we used to just hire Danny and just, pay him some money, come just play with us,
Oh,
And him and Thackeray going at it was interesting.
was that the days of Jan Zukowski?
And Jan Zukowski and Wenner.
He
And
was,
there's actually tapes of that.
oh, I love that. He was one of my Living on Music guests, and then I actually played golf with him one time, and I made an 80-foot putt, which was a
Oh, whoa.
which was a miracle. I sucked the rest of it. The ball was all over the place. But I love Jen. I love the Nighthawks, and that's right. You were involved with that. I mean, again, a reason that means something to you guys too is playing at the Birchmere in Alexandria. Is if this guy grew up around here, in Anacostia, and had a life at Prince George's County, and then obviously he was ended up in Newburgh with his wife and daughter, and it's an amazing experience. I think. What do you think? The people who love Danny Gatton, Tommy Lepson, what do you think that they still appreciate when you guys show up? It's a little of everything, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we touch on different styles of music, but Danny was all over the map. He could play anything. He could pick up a shoebox and play it and make it sound good.
Right.
But I think people appreciate what we do. We're all are there because we love the guy and we want to keep his memory going on. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, and something I think we might have talked about on one of the previous shows. There was a wonderful breakdown of the 4 reasons he remains a legend, and one is versatility. His working sessions, his recording with Roger Miller and people like Robert Gordon and things like that. Right? You have to believe that the versatility was big, right?
Yeah.
Right, Pete? Or Dan, what do you guys think about the versatility of Danny
Oh,
Gatton?
absolutely. And we try to show that in the show with
Yeah.
the material that we do. There'll be some country, there'll be some R&B. Tommy did an incredible R&B song with Danny by a local musician here by the name of Marvin Gaye.
Oh, Marvin Gaye, yeah.
Ain't That Peculiar? And he recorded that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And even some touches of bluegrass. We try to cover the bases that Danny covered.
No, that's wonderful. He also was best known as what? The Humbler.
the Humbler, yeah.
Bestowed upon him by Amos Garrett, and I mean I love that. He's like the biggest humbler to me of all time. Would be the best I've ever seen. That's what Gatton said was Lenny Brew, and I love the humbler part. He also, I guess, they called in this 4 reasons slide wizardry, and the slide guitarist part of him, right? That was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Budweiser bottle.
Or a Heineken.
Or Heineken.
Heineken.
Oh, I love that. And then again, the people who have admired him, the levels of the people that are going to be at your show, including you three, is just up here. And then you have all these people also over the years that thought he was, they thought he was one of the best ever. I love it. The people like there was, it goes back and forth. The Roy Buchanan, of course, who we lost to, but his dear friend Ricky Skaggs, even Slash. And Trey Anastasio, right? And Steve Valls, said he comes closer than anyone else to being the best guitar player that's ever lived. So it is an amazing thing to keep these gigs going. I think that, again, the Birchmere, I just wrote an article for the Washington Life magazine's music edition about the Birchmere being resilient between the pandemic and losing Gary. It's been a wild time there, and they've flourished through everything. They've spread their genres of music too that they accept in there.
That
But
was
boy,
smart.
right, boy, oh boy, is what you're doing on August 29th, a huge thing. And I again congratulate you all and my buddy Dave who helped set us up today and things like that. Any last words on what you're going to feel when you play on August 29th, playing some of the music of this amazing guy?
Well, for me, as soon as we start that first song, I can shake off the nervousness. Yeah, the heebie-jeebies. I'm nervous before we start that show
Right.
myself, but
And you're nervous before you start on the show, because it's Danny Gatton's music you're playing?
then again, there's a certain standard of performance you got to live up to.
Right. Right. Dave Elliott, how are you going to feel when you're in that up on that stage again doing some Gatton?
I'm gonna feel great. Um, I'm gonna be nervous. It's been a long time since I played. And that's gonna have a lot to do with how I feel. But I'm really looking forward to it. I usually just sing a couple songs the last few years.
Right.
I've got spinal stenosis and arthritis and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, but this
We both
time,
have canes.
yeah,
There you go.
this thing makes me able.
Not yet.
They
Um,
keep you going. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, that's wonderful, Dave. It's been a while since you played, and look what you're doing, Danny Gatton. I mean, that is great. Tommy Lepson, again, been a mainstay with this. How are you feeling about how you're going to feel when you're up on stage getting ready to do some Gatton this time?
I'll feel real good about it. I remember the first time I recorded with Danny, and I was nervous as shit. I said, this guy's so good, and I said, what do you want me to do? And he says, do what you do. Just do what you do, and don't worry about me. And I said, well, okay. And so I did. So that's what I'm going to feel like. I'm going to feel great about doing it. Yeah.
Well, What's that, Dave?
Something that made it real fun to play with Danny because he'd already heard you somewhere and he wanted you to play the way you played.
Yep.
And he wouldn't tell you what to do or down you or anything.
No.
He just do what you do, man.
Yep.
I want to, we want to combine this with what you do with what I do.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
you got faith in it.
That's fantastic. That is what a wonderful way to get people to think of what they're going to be feeling too at this amazing show. Again, everybody, August 29th, 7:30 p.m., the one and only Birchmere. It's the 6th annual Danny Gatton birthday celebration. Congratulations, you three doing it, and also everything else you three have done in music. I could not be more honored of what you've done, and just
Thank
to
you,
see
Steve.
see you all getting together in the list, which the people will see endlessly. Not only behind me, part of it with most of your names, but
I think Bruce Swain is playing sax on this also.
Yeah, Bruce is on this show too.
oh, great. Yeah, I think like Brent Gatton, Bruce Swain, Rick Way. Yeah, it is an amazing lineup
Yeah.
of people, and I wish you guys all the best to be there.
One thing Danny said in an interview when he was asked how he wanted people to, or what he wanted the people to get out of his playing, how he wanted them to feel, and he said he wanted them to have goosebumps. Exactly what he said, and that's it.
That's it.
When you get goosebumps hearing somebody play.
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody in the Birchmere and the across the board are going to have goosebumps seeing you guys play too, because it is going to be an incredible experience to hear that music again by some of the best ever. And I wish you the very best. Let's keep in touch on music in general, and hopefully we'll bang this out next year too and get people to get pumped up. But thanks again, you guys, and have a blast on the 29th.
All right,
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll have to edit out the clams.
Yeah, all of it.
There's some clams in there.